Live.
We're going live, Scott. Scott, we're going live.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
I think
We good now?
I believe so.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Calling of roll
Mr. Thompson,
here.
Ms. Spence,
Here.
Mr. Schweitzer. Absent.
All right. Per the directive of the Vigo County Commissioners, the building is closed to the public due to COVID-19 virus. The meeting will be live streamed and archived in the Vigo County YouTube channel. Taxpayers will have the opportunity to submit comments to the council members via email prior to the meeting. Please include your name, address, and contact information with your comments. Comments should be sent to county.council@vigocounty.in.gov prior to 3:15 p.m. on Tuesday, May 16th or May 26th, 2020. Have we had any public comment?
I have not received any. And I checked it just recently within the last 5 minutes.
Okay. Communication from elected officials, other officials, and agencies of the county?
Councilman Thompson, I just want to refer to some conversation that we had in the council meeting on May the 19th. We talked a lot about the encumbrances, and Calissa and I have talked a little bit about this, and Mr. Bramble, I haven't had time to talk to you yet, but I'm going to, if David's okay with this, I'll send you something. I'd like to sort of propose that we create a procedure for how we'll handle encumbrances and include in that some things that I think will hopefully make it easier to work through that process on an annual basis. Mr. Bramble, I'd like to include, and I've given you some examples. You'll see this when I send you what I'm going to send you if David's okay with this, but some guidance that you would give us on what some of the kind of operating constraints are, or sort of freedom of movement, for example, with things like sales tax, right? You mentioned materiality. You've mentioned that a couple of times. So if we could get some guidance on what is material and that sort of thing, I hope that, you know, as we go through that process and we see that an amount is included that perhaps a sales tax that ideally wouldn't be included, but when it is, if it's not material, then perhaps we can approve the encumbrances, even though one of them includes sales tax, and we'll all go on with our lives, right? So kind of to ease and just make clear what our constraints are and what sort of your operating rules are, so that we can have some freedom of movement to approve those encumbrances in a way that doesn't, you know, doesn't cause us to have a 45-minute discussion, allows you to do, your staff to do what you all do, but gives us what we need to feel confident that we can approve, you know, what's in front of us. So I hope that when I send you this, you all this, and David, I would propose to send this to you and to Councilman Schweitzer and to Calissa, and then Mr. Bramble, I would send that to you as well, and then maybe we could take a look at it. And I don't know what I think perhaps then the discussion, Mr. Bramble, might be between you and me for a bit. And then if it seems like it's fruitful and helpful, perhaps we can then bring it back to the council and or to this committee as a subset of the council in preparation for the process next year. So I just wanted to say that, David, you know, we had some discussion in our last meeting about encumbrances. And then there was a lot of discussion at the council meeting, and I just want to follow that up by trying to do something I hope kind of helps us get through that process, helps the council get through that process next January. So if it's okay to send that forward, I'll go ahead and send that via email, and you guys can take a look at it. And then Mr. Bramble, I would propose to follow up with a phone call to you to work through it or to talk through it.
Sure, that sounds good.
I agree. I think that's appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other communication comments? All right, we'll move forward to the request of council. 20-019, backup battery UPS system in 911. Vicky?
Okay, I was requesting additional funds for the battery backup system that we have. I'd like these funds to be from the 1222 state 911 account. It's for a purchase of a new battery backup, which is an uninterruptible power supply. So in case our power goes out, we will still have a limited time on that until the generator kicks in. So we will never be completely down. The old one that we have is approximately 20 years old. It was brought over from the 911 office when they were at Vigo County Courthouse. So it is at end of life. And I did know this was coming, and I got a quote for a replacement system from the current company that we use now, Precise Power. And I get it was my mistake. I assumed that they would give me a quote for what we have now currently, and they would install it. But upon speaking to them, I requested the money for that last year, included it in this budget. So what I requested last year was $26,266, I believe, to replace this. When I called the company this year to set up a time to have this replaced, I was informed that this did not include installation, so I would have to hire an electrician, or our maintenance could do it ourselves. And it was not for, we currently have approximately 52 minutes of backup battery time on our current system, which would give us time to get something in place in case the generator didn't kick in, and the generator has done that in the past. You know, it got struck by lightning, it didn't kick in. They were going to offer us 3 minutes of backup time. So in order to have the same amount of time that we currently have and to get it installed, I got 2 quotes for 2 completely different companies. One is NRK, which is here in Terre Haute, and they installed the original system that we have. They brought it over from the courthouse, installed it here. The other is for that we have is from Raycom, and they are out of Lafayette. They do our radio systems and things like that. So I got both of these companies. I'm happy. I mean, I would be happy with either one. I would probably lean more towards the lower price because there's quite a bit of difference in those 2 quotes that they gave us. Both of them are for approximately 1 hour of backup time and includes installation. I did have to, the NRK one, and I just sent this over to Calissa, was increased by $600 due to the fact that they're going to have to come in on off hours to shut the system down. It will be taking us completely shut the power off, which will also affect the jail. So they're going to have to come in the middle of the night, you know, hopefully at 3 o'clock on Sunday night going into Monday morning would be the least amount of interruption time. So they're going to have to shut us down for 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20, while they can unhook this, put us back on power, and then remove the old equipment. So what I'm asking is the difference in these 2 quotes, the one that I had from last year that I included in my budget, and if you're so inclined, the $54,559 is the new price. The old, I think I included a copy for you guys of the 2 quotes. The NRK budget one increased by $600, And that's to include the shutdown and restart of that equipment and off hours. So it's, the total price on that was $54,559. So I would like to request the difference of the $28,293.
And that is, so if I understand you right, you've already got the 26,266 in your budget, correct?
Yes, I budgeted
Okay.
for that last year.
So the 28,293 is from NRK?
Yes.
Is that
And
correct?
that's the
Okay.
lower of the quotes that I got. Right now, I've had to put it off because of the, everything being shut down. Right now, we are out of maintenance on this machine. So I'd like to get started on that now that things are opening back up as soon as I can to get it replaced. It's just, they won't service it anymore. It's just too old. They can't buy parts for it or anything else. So this is where we're at this time. I did do some research on those, by the way, and I just to see what the top brands are. The Eaton is what is being proposed out of the NRK budget. It's listed third or fourth out of the top 10 of battery backups. The Schneider, which is the NRK one, I believe the quote on that was what, $70,500. So there's quite a bit of difference there.
That's the Raycom one, right?
Yes, the Raycom one. That's a Schneider UPS system, and they're rated like 4 or 5, depending on which, survey you go to. So, I'd be happy with either one. If it were me, I would lean more towards the NRK.
Okay.
So any other questions for?
Councilwoman Spitz-Benay?
You need to unmute yourself.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Calissa. Couple of questions. One is there any substantive difference in what's included in each of these? For example, and I don't know if this is substantive in your mind or not, but the Raycom proposal includes the warranty, a little bit of warranty information that I think I missed that in the NRK information. And again, you may not consider that. So that's just an example of where I saw a difference. I thought I saw a difference. And the question is there anything substantive that's different between these two?
So, I believe that I can get that for you. I can get what is included. He told me when we had them come over, we had both companies come in, see what was all involved in it, what they were going to have to do to give us a price. And they buy the systems from they're like vendors. So they have these, basically they buy them from the company and then they sell them. So he told me that it would have a warranty on it. And then we've always had a maintenance agreement on this, to check the batteries, replace them when they go out. So that would continue on, but I can get those figures for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the maintenance. There's a little bit, again, kind of just a difference in the wording of the two proposals. There's a little bit of a mention of, the preventive maintenance and the service plan in the Raycom. And I think I would just like to see what NRK's proposal is for maintenance and any battery costs that they would project for this particular type of unit on maybe year 2 and year 3.
Okay,
That could, and I know that's not due now potentially, but that would just help us understand if, and I'm sure it's not, but if this bid is low, but they're just going to stick you for year 2 and 3, and that sort of thing, which I'm sure they're not going to do. But so, okay, that'll be great. So warranty, a little bit of warranty information, and then something about the maintenance
okay.
costs would be great just to add to
We
this.
have included the maintenance for this in our budget every year, so that's something that should be fairly the same. I would think it'd be comparable to what we
Sure.
had to pay the other
Yeah.
company,
Yeah,
which
I think,
that other company was coming out of. I think they're based in North Carolina too, so it was a little bit for them to get in and service it. I'd like to go with somebody more locally, and so
sure. And did NRK indicate that they could do this work pretty quickly?
yes.
Since you, okay, good.
Yeah, and I checked with them to see how long it would be to get the equipment in, because everything is kind of shut down now. And
Sure.
they said that they could have it within a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Okay. I think those are all my questions.
Okay,
How bad is the one we have now?
it's still working. It was serviced, I believe, last October, and that's when they told me that we were going to have to replace it because it was nearing end of life. And so that's when I started getting the quotes from them, but the batteries are still good. Both of these companies looked at it when they were here, and they both said that, yeah, it's still working right now. The problem is should it get struck by lightning, or should it, a part go out on it, we wouldn't be able to replace it
Okay,
because, it's so old that they don't make them anymore.
okay.
And I'm sorry, just one more question,
Uh-huh.
Vicki. You talked about if the UPS kicks in, it's going to give you about an hour's worth of time, and if the worst case happens and the generator is not available at some point, just out of curiosity, what is your backup at 62 minutes if there's a problem with the generator after the UPS has
Well,
basically shot through?
Basically, if the generator, if there was a problem with that it malfunctioned, or for whatever reason, that right now we are at approximately 52 minutes of
Mhm.
backup time. So what that allows us to do is to maybe have a plan to set up where we're going to go. We could send people out to our backup station at 911 center at EMA
Okay.
to get up there. So
Gotcha.
we would have enough time to implement a plan to get something in place to try to get another generator in to, figure out what we were going to do. Basically, when it goes on that battery backup, it is limited on what is on there. So it doesn't run the whole building.
Mhm.
It's only important things.
Right,
Our-
right. But you've got your backup site that has some small core of those important things also, and time to get there in
Yes.
about 50 minutes.
Yeah,
So, okay.
our backup facility is at the EMA office. So we have a room there that has positions for, and we went out and got that all up and running. Everything is updated, just in case we had to move due to COVID. So we have all of those, everything we need out there right now. So that would give us a time to figure out how we were going to keep dispatch running, because, without any power, we can't dispatch.
Right, right. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thanks for that.
I don't have anything any further.
Okay.
You want to make a motion, Lisa
I have one quick
or
question.
Melissa?
Vicky, how comfortable are you with the warranty of NRK from your discussion? Because if they're going to make a motion based on the NRK quote, and then you find out you want to go the other, if it's advertised for a lower amount, it could box you into a corner.
Right.
If you find out that's not,
I can get with them if you want to, postpone it or whatever you need to do. If you don't want to make a recommendation on it, I can get with them, have them fax me over the warranty information and the maintenance, how much that's going to be. And then I can get that over to you and let you take a look at that.
You know what it can do to keep it moving is advertise the high bid, and then you can approve at the meeting.
that was kind of my point, that if we maybe advertise at the higher amount instead of going for the low end, and then something happens that, oh, hey, this warranty is not as good as what we thought,
Right.
and we're going to run into problems, or maybe it's the service, whatever that may be, and you've already, boxed yourself into a corner, and then we have to come back because you wouldn't have sufficient appropriation then. So
Okay.
you could potentially go at the higher amount. So basically, what was another 16,000, I believe, or something?
It was, the other bid was 70,500. And I have 26,266. So that would be $44,234.
So what if I make a motion that we move ROC 20-019 to council favorably for an amount of $44,250?
That's fine with me.
And in addition to that, it's to account 1222.44510.000.0000. It's the 911 fund equipment new. And that should give the auditor sufficient information for advertising or publication.
All right. I will second. I think I've got it. All right. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. So this will move on to full council with a favorable recommendation.
Okay. And I'll be notified. So for that, or is that going to be at the next council meeting, or?
It should be the June 9th meeting. It'll be on the agenda for the June 9th meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And will I need to be there?
It would be ideal.
Okay, I can do that. I just didn't know if it was going to be opened up or not.
Well, the meeting, they're allowed to have 25 people in the room,
Okay,
and you can be included in that 25.
okay,
I will tell you that, like I said, if you can get that other information and have the commissioners look at it, you guys figure out which one you would prefer to go with company-wise, that might be some good information for the council, because if they need to amend that amount, they can.
okay. I will get a hold of him and have him to get me over the maintenance and the warranty on that equipment. And I will get those emailed to you. Would you be able to get them out to everybody, or would you like me to email them to everybody?
I can forward it on to everybody.
Okay.
So.
All right. Is that it? That's all I have on the.
That's all I have.
That's all I have.
Just
All
in
right.
time, it's starting to rain.
Just in time.
The meeting spot is not the best one.
No kidding.
I move to adjourn so the auditor doesn't get wet.
All right. I will second.
All
Those
right.
in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Vicki. Thanks, Karen.
See you later.
All right, see ya.
Thank you. See ya. All right. Are we off?
You should be.
All right.
There's
Sounds good.
An in button down in the corner, in meeting for all. There we go.
All right. Thank you.